Hey everyone, Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. Well, I'm in uncharted territory today. And by that I mean I am testing a piece of gear and a type of gear that I am completely unfamiliar with. But there's a reason behind it. Whenever I'm up here in the woods, I've got my Grand Forest Brook hatchet with me. It is an absolute essential part of my gear. I consider it a essential piece of bushcraft gear. You know, a hatchet, a saw, and a knife. But I'm thinking along the lines of emergency preparedness, bug out kits, things like that. So I am actually going to test my very first ever tomahawk. This is the Estwing tomahawk. And I just picked this up this morning. Seen it hanging at the local hardware store, and I had just seen a story on the internet, an older story about some people who, during hurricane season, when the high waters came in, were trapped in their attic with no way to get out. They had a 72-hour emergency kit with, you know, a flashlight and candles and batteries and food and water and things, and they climbed up in their attic to escape the rising water level. But when the water came up to the height of their attic, they were trapped in their attic. They had not thought to take any kind of a tool with them to get out of their attic. Something like this, they could have chopped through, you know, the wall or the ceiling or the floor, whatever needed be, and got out of their attic. And I started thinking, well, you know, a tool like this, although it may not be something I would carry in a bushcraft kit, if I was in a hurricane area, earthquake area, perhaps in a bug out bag even, this would be an ideal tool for chopping through things that you needed to get out of or into. If you needed to get through a door because there was a fire and you were trapped and the door was locked, you could get through the door pretty well with something like this. So, like I said, this is brand new to me. I've never done a field test on anything like this ever. So I'm going to try a couple things out. I'm going to try a few bushcraft things out just to see how it works. And a few other tasks. I'm at an old hunting camp, and somebody was kind enough to leave some garbage behind. Yeah, but I'm going to take advantage of that. So it comes in this little nylon sheath, and I don't know if it's something that I would want to attach to my belt, but it's something I would definitely want to have covering this. Let's take a feel of that point. That's an aggressive point. Wow. And this still has the rubber on it on this end. I'm going to have to grab something from my truck to get that rubber off. It's just coming off in pieces. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. Okay, I'm back. I couldn't get that rubber off the end, but there it is. And I like what this says on the tag. Forged from one piece of American steel. That's pretty cool. So Estwing Tomahawk. We're talking about using this as part of an emergency preparedness kit. You know, if you live in an earthquake area, hurricane area, or even out here where I am, an area where there's a lot of wildfires and things. If you needed to get through something, and it's not that heavy, this seems like it would be a very good tool. So the point here I'm really impressed with. This part, I'm going to do some work on that, I'll tell you right now. I am not impressed at all with the factory edge on the blade. I'm definitely going to sharpen that up some when I get home. But let's try this out. Let's see what it'll do. Okay. Let's try see how it would work if I needed to get some wood. It's kind of a bushcraft thing here. Nice. All right. Let's try that again. There we go. Yeah. So, getting firewood at a campsite, you're on a bug out, no problem. Just baton on that steel bar. Much safer than trying to stand this up and get a swing at it. That's just too dangerous. It's just much easier to just take a bent piece of wood like this that's not going to stand up on its own and just baton it. So that's nice. So it's a work for firewood. Getting your firewood at your camp. Nice. Well, this does not have much of an edge at all, but let's just see. Yeah. So the head needs really badly sharpened. They did not put a good edge on that at all. But I'll take care of that, no problem. But I can tell if it's making a little bit of curls like that with a dull edge, then when I get a good edge on that, that should make some really, really nice curls. But again, it's not a bushcraft tool. I'm just trying out some bushcraft chores with it, some bushcraft tasks, because that's what I'm familiar with. Whereas I would not be familiar with living in an area with hurricanes and having to chop through an attic. But we're gonna give it some chopping tests anyway. So one thing it would be great for, you know, if the power's out and you needed just a fire out in your yard, or you were on a bug out, staying at a campsite, I think you could beat on the back of that steel handle all day long like I was doing, and baton. And that's actually, on small stuff like this, it's actually much safer to do that. Something that I couldn't do with my hatchet, because my hatchet handle back here is wood and I would just be damaging it. Where this is solid American steel, I can pound on that all day, and wood like this that isn't going to stand up, again, much safer to just set it up and baton it. So for getting firewood at a campsite, I give it a thumbs up. All right. Something else that I use my hatchet for, or my large knife in bushcraft, is getting boughs down. Again, this edge on the front needs some work, but let's try taking a few boughs off here anyway. Oh, wow. Well, no problem there. No problem there at all. Big one here. Yeah. No problem. So, again, you're on a bug out. You walk off the main road up into an area that's got some trees and you need some boughs for shelter. It's going to take care of that really easily. That's quite good. I have no complaints about that. Yeah, not bad. All right. As I said, I'm at an old hunting camp. There were some boards laying around. One other item laying back here that I'll probably just haul it out of here because I hate it when people leave garbage in the woods, but I'm going to take advantage of it. We'll get to that in a second. Let's try on this board. So you're not going to get a door any thicker than that, or a wall really in most houses and stuff where it's that that cheap board that you can almost put your hand through. So let's try the spike in. Yeah, it just desecrated that board and busted into two pieces. See that? Yeah, it's just tearing this board up. No problem. Look at that. That would definitely make short work of a door or a wall. They're just shattering it into pieces. I wish I had a big piece of plywood out here, but for next time. Okay. This is the kind of garbage that people who don't care about our national forests leave behind. And stuff like this and the other trash they left laying out here is the reason that beautiful places like I'm in now end up getting shut down. So I could say a lot more. I'm just going to leave it at that. But somebody left an old console out of a vehicle. And what's interesting is it's locked. I mean, it's broken, but it's locked. So let's assume that it wasn't. Just to see how this works as a breaching tool to get into something like this. I don't have goggles with me. I wasn't expecting to find this, so pardon me, I'm going to shield my eyes a little bit when I do this. So that took us through the top layer. First blow. Second blow. Yeah. So now that just shattered the whole lock. That second blow did. The force of it busted all of the plastic around the lock. And there I am. I'm inside here now. One man's junk is another man's field test gear. Okay. So again, and I wish I had more stuff out here to test this with, because this is actually fun to play with. But I can see the advantages of something like this. Again, emergency preparedness we're talking. I'm not talking out here doing bushcraft. My Grand Swartz Brook hatchet will outperform, run circles around it for bushcraft stuff. But if I need to get out of an attic, if I need to get through a door, and one advantage it did have, bushcraft advantage, is being able to baton the back of this and make really, really quick work of wood at a campsite. I like it. I like this. I like that it's one solid piece of steel, because there's nothing here to come loose or fall out. You're going to have to bend or break the entire thing. And we gave it some pretty hard use, I think, for just testing it out. So again, emergency preparedness, bug out kit, gear that you would stow for a hurricane or an earthquake, other emergencies where you have to breach something to get out, to get in, or part of a bug out bag, because it's not that heavy and it could easily be strapped to the outside of a kit. I would recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up. I like it. In fact, I would say that there's a good chance, since I don't have any kind of a hatchet or breaching tool as part of my own bug out kit, there's a good chance it might end up on the side of my bug out pack. But again, like I said, this is new territory for me. You know, I'm out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is bushcraft gear, bushcraft tools, but real world situation in an emergency, something like this is probably going to come in a lot handier than my bushcraft hatchet. So there it is, guys. Estwing Tomahawk retails, I think they're on Amazon for about 40 bucks. I picked this up at the hardware store for about 40 bucks. Saw it hanging there and thought, you know what, that would be fun to just go out today and field test and review for you guys, especially since I've never done anything like this before. So again, Estwing, American steel, Tomahawk, 2 thumbs up for your emergency preparedness supplies, kit, or a bug out bag. Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. Thanks, guys.